Hey, what's up, guys? Little man with a big opinion here. Today's video, we're going to talk about things that preppers should probably start adding to their arsenals, their preps, their supplies, because right now, half the country's happy, the other half the country is, upset. Same thing that happens just about every 4 years. We got the results in. There are legal battles going on right now, but probably nothing's going to change. What it means for preppers, though, is one of the categories that you use towards your preps could be under some stress, specifically your firearms. The saying on Biden's website is he doesn't want anything gun-related sold online, whether it's ammunition, a tactical light, the firearm itself, scopes, scope mounts. I would assume that goes as far as to reloading equipment. It could go as far as body armor, plate carriers, a gun case. We don't know. But most preppers, when they're first starting or they're thinking about getting into prepping, one of the very first things they think you should go buy is a gun. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm not like it's not the best thing, and it's also not the worst thing to purchase. I would say it falls in the top 5 first things you should buy as a prepper. So something that preppers should probably add to their list is, the things we talked about: magazines, ammunition, accessories that you planned on putting onto a firearm but you haven't done it yet, or the firearm in general. If you think it's cheaper for you to buy it online right now, maybe now's a good time to buy that firearm online, instead of kicking it down the road, because you might not be able to do it. We don't know what's going to happen. Other thing firearm related is, it can be as simple as a single stage reloading press. It could be a turret one. It could be, an automatic one. The setups go anywhere between the most basic level of $600 into the thousands and tens of thousands. So keep that in mind. In this part of the video, I'll post the one that I'm thinking about purchasing. I know it's a Lee. I forget which specific auto loader, turret, whatever it is, but I'll put it up there. Other things that preppers should be thinking about buying is precious metals. If you're someone that hasn't gotten into precious metals before, it looks and seems pretty expensive, but $20 here, $40 there, $10 here. You can start to see it accumulate, just like a retirement, just like anything that you buy in small quantities consistently, and it stacks up over time. It's just like buying 55-pound bags of rice, one each week. At the end of the year, you're like, where'd all this rice come from? That's because a lot of people, it's not just the uncertainty with the firearms. Some people think the economy is going to tank again. So maybe also pay attention to any stock or real estate holdings that you have. Do a once over of your preps. A lot of people said, this first 8-ish months that we had dealing with COVID, in certain areas it was very relaxed. In certain areas it was more stringent, and now most cities and states have similar, mandates in place when it comes to masks. I can definitely tell, going to different cities in my state, that the enforcement levels in some areas are really high and it's lower in other areas. But if states want to, re-shut down things, my girlfriend was telling me Oregon was going back down into lockdown mode. I've heard about certain schools in Texas going back to remote because of a spike in cases, while some schools they stayed remote the whole time, and in some schools they were remote until basically the same time businesses started opening up and they sent kids back to school. So we could see a national level mandate for any of these reasons. Um, so on the economic side of things, that's one of the reasons why we prep. You've got all this food put away. You don't got a job. You can still feed yourself. You got this precious metal put away. Long-term goal is to retire and sell it slowly. Short-term goal is it's a very liquid form of cash. It's a way to store your cash in a smaller, object that has a decent amount of wealth. One, gold coin's worth like 1,600, 1,700, 1,500, around there. I haven't checked gold prices in a while. Other things that you should maybe think about buying is extra, clothing and apparel. I haven't really talked about this in prepping videos as of recently, but I went and picked up 2 pairs of the $10 tennis shoes from Walmart. For one, I can wear them for work if I want to, but one pair has not been worn. I've had it for 3 or 4 months. I seriously doubt my shoe size is getting any bigger, and it's just an extra pair of shoes in case I need them. A lot of this is just doubling and tripling up on what you already have, taking stock of what you have, and planning for the future that some people believe will happen. Some people, we don't know. If certain campaign promises are fulfilled, then we kind of have a warning for what could happen when it comes to the security and protection side of prepping. If lockdowns start back up again, there's a good possibility that people will do the panic buying again. If you weren't a prepper before this, and you haven't been spending $10 to $50 a month, picking up a little bit of extra toilet paper, a little bit of rice, there's a good possibility that states or the U.S. goes into a lockdown, and that means most likely more panic buying. So here's like kind of your last heads up. We might not go into anything until January. We might not go into it at all, but with the way the different campaigns were promising this and promising that, if he wants to go forward with some of these things and use executive powers or has control in the House and the Senate might agree, we just don't know. So pick up those items that most people treat it on a weekly or maybe a bi-weekly basis. You get one package of toilet paper, you get down to 2 or 3 rolls, you go buy another package. How about you keep that same plan in motion, except buy 2 1 week and throw it in a closet and leave it there and forget about it. Maybe not forget about it, but the idea is you continue your routine so that you're constantly bringing in fresh supplies. In the toilet paper world, it's not going to go bad as long as rodents don't get into it. But SHTF happens at the beginning of the week when you just bought your brand new pack, you're fine. If it happens when you're down to your last 3 rolls and you told yourself you have to go get your toilet paper tomorrow so that you always have that constant, just-in-time supply, it'd be great if it happened when you had that full roll or full container, because now you have 2 full containers. If it happens when you're down to those 3 rolls, at least you have a full container of toilet paper. And with that same example, treat that with your pantry. Most people, you buy your 20 cans of vegetables, 20 cans of fruit, however you do that kind of thing. You get down to the last few, you go buy more. Instead of treating your pantry on a 1 to 2 week basis, try to develop it into a month-long basis. That's a good starting point. A lot of preppers, they're preaching a 3-month pantry system now, because that gives you like the longest rotation time. You know, food has an expiration date and it has a best by date. Don't listen to the best by date. Your expiration date, they don't really put expiration date on foods anymore. Just know canned goods have a 6 to 1 year lifespan. Certain canned goods last longer, up to 5 years, but your typical green beans or mixed fruit or whatever, a 6-month time span, you've always got 3 months of it, sitting there, and that could be a lifesaver. So try to get out of the just-in-time system. And if you're living paycheck to paycheck, the only two things I can say is, it's just like if you want to lose weight, you either burn more calories or eat less calories. So you either lower your expenses or make more money. It's probably kind of difficult to do that with, jobs and COVID going on. But you could look into saving money somewhere. For example, I work at Pizza Hut. I have YouTube playing in the background all the time, and I was paying for YouTube Premium. I was paying $8 a month because I'm a student, and the only benefit that it had was, depending on who I was watching, if they had 3 ads or 10 ads in their video, I didn't have to wait 5 seconds and click a button to keep going. I haven't had it for 3 months, and it's kind of annoying having to press the ad button on there, but that's $21 right there. That's a 50-pound bag of rice. That's, 2 or 3 months worth of the caloric intake of ramen. That's a couple jars of peanut butter, a thing of honey, a 5-gallon water container. We pay for a lot of things. We have tons of subscriptions. We always go out to eat. We're hanging out with friends. Whatever it is, you have a possibility of cutting costs and giving yourself an insurance policy, setting yourself up to where it's not just, COVID, the fear of what, a president might do. It's natural disasters, it's job loss, it's, moving somewhere and you're in the process of getting established, and maybe it takes you 3 weeks to find a job. You don't got to worry about feeding yourself. I want to take, I've got my 2 weeks of paid vacation. My work approved me for an additional week. Instead of having to save the money to cover all your costs for that 3-week period, you already know you have the food there if you don't want to spend your savings money. Just things to keep in mind. The video's getting a little bit long, and at this point, I'm talking out my butt. So if you have any other suggestions, leave them down in the comments section. Subscribe to the channel if you like the videos, you like what I'm doing, and like the video. Some videos get more likes than others, and it kind of gives me an idea of, genres or topics that I need to keep going further into. And lastly, share the video with your friends and family, or anyone that you think would benefit from what I'm talking about. And with that, catch you next time, guys.